Welcome to the MIS Help Desk video tutorial on the Teacher Technology Cabinet. This video is designed to give you an overview of the components in the Teacher Technology Cabinet, how to hook up your computer, how to use the microphone pieces, the document camera, and all of the elements that will bring your class to life, possibly on your interactive whiteboard. This is your Teacher Technology Cabinet. And there are a variety of pieces. We'll be going through each one this afternoon and showing you how they interact and how you can facilitate your classes using the technology in your cabinet. Right. First, some physical pieces. There are two doors on the cabinet. This one that faces the classroom is really an entry panel for the techs, and you shouldn't be opening this. Just leave it closed so that they can get in there to change the equipment and work with the wiring and things like that. The back panel is the one that you can use to access the other equipment that is inside the cabinet, and inside the cabinet you have your DVD player, your microphones will be stored in there. It's also a space for you to store your laptop. And your classroom door key is the key that opens your technology cabinet. So whatever classroom you're in, you would need the key to access the interior pieces of that cabinet. Some of the other pieces, you will have a laptop computer that you can connect to your technology cabinet, and this also is a wireless hookup so that you will be able to interact with the network, GRPS network, wirelessly that way. And you will also be learning today how to connect your computer to the technology cabinet using the audio and visual cables, the AV cables, and we'll go over that in more detail when we get to the laptop piece. This is the remote touch screen. The remote touch screen has a series of buttons on the side here, the bottom one being the power button. If you come into your classroom someday and this is black, don't panic. It probably just needs to be turned on. So you do that with the power button on the side. It has an adjustable arm. You'll see I can swing it around, so if I'm over here, I can adjust some of the equipment that I'm using via the remote touch screen, and if I'm standing behind the cabinet, I can turn the screen this way and control it from the back as well. Okay. One of the important pieces on the touch screen is selecting your input, and when we go through each of the different items, we'll go over how to select the input screens and how that works. The projector. The projectors are fairly expensive pieces of equipment. Please remember to turn them off at the end of the day. Don't just put it on standby, or don't just set your equipment to video mute, because that keeps the projector running and then it pulls in all the dust and dirt from the classroom, which affects the camera. It will begin, or excuse me, the projector. You might run into problems with it overheating fairly quickly. The bulbs are also fairly expensive to replace. Luckily, MIS has thought ahead and included replacement bulbs into the initial cost, so you would be able to get a bulb, but again, you want to conserve the life of that as much as you can. So please be mindful of turning your projectors off at the end of the day, especially on weekends and vacations when they're going to be out of use for an extended period of time. And at the end of the day, make sure you do power down your remote screen. Make sure the document camera is turned off. And do not turn off any of the power buttons, however, inside the technology cabinet. That keeps it going so that they can receive updates and things like that to keep the service going. If you ever have trouble with your technology cabinet, as always, please contact Help Desk at 2487. Be prepared to give them the asset tag number of your laptop computer, which can be found here. On the barcode, it's the barcode number that's on the computer. So here on the cover, you have the barcode number for asset and service tag numbers. Contact Help Desk 2487 with any questions. So we're going to start with the remote touch screen, which is the power panel, how you control all of the different elements of your teacher technology cabinet. And I'm just going to walk you through each of the kind of important mainstream buttons, and then we'll dive into each individual source after the initial introduction here. First thing is to power up. You use the power button here in the upper left-hand corner to power on the screen. It's green when the projector is turned off. And you'll notice once you touch the power button, it will tell you that the projector is warming up and please stand by. It does take about 40 seconds for the touch screen to power up, and you can check its progress by looking at the green boxes here. We'll have to wait a second. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. So here we go. The next item, after your computer is warmed up, you'll notice the power button now shows red and it's ready to go. And up here we also have an indication of what source the computer is attempting to pull information from to project to the classroom. Down here are your individual source buttons. This is where you'll choose where the input is coming from. It's currently set on PC, which you can see because of the white line. When you choose a different source, it will give you a message saying that it's switching sources and please wait. It does take a little bit of time for the system to switch over to a new source, and so maybe less than a minute for you to use the different items. Okay, and going through these, if we start with PC, the PC is used to project information or to put information out to the classroom through the laptop computer. You can also run audio through that if you're playing a CD on your computer, or if you have an iPod Touch or something linked to the laptop, it will play that audio for you. The DVD function is connected to the DVD Blu-ray player inside the technology cabinet, and you can also play CDs through that for audio only, or you can play videos. Dock is your document camera, so if you're trying to project something off the document camera, you would select this as your input. Evidon is our streaming video service. You can watch TV channels, online videos, save your favorites, and on to access content for the classroom. Important to note, before you can use any of the features on the screen, the projector does need to be powered on. It's set to turn on automatically when your system is turned up. Okay. To adjust the volume using your touch remote, you just go down here to the volume keys. The down arrow moves the volume down, and the up arrow would turn the volume up. If you want to turn the volume off completely on whatever it is you're projecting to the classroom, simply push audio mute. This can be useful if you are listening to a CD in class, or you have some other kind of audio going on and you want to cut in and talk to the students briefly. You can just mute the audio and then turn it back on, and it'll pick up, it'll just keep going. However, be advised that with the audio mute, it doesn't actually stop audio. So if it's something they are listening to and you need to stop it and then restart it from that same spot, you would want to control that through the computer or whatever your output device actually is. And then down here, another function we have, which is quite useful, is the video muted. Same thing, whatever you're projecting onto the screen is considered video. And if you wanted to cut in for some reason and talk to the students about it, direct their thinking or something along those lines, you could simply push the video mute button. Whatever's projecting will disappear from the screen. And again, it will, however, continue to play. So if you need to actually pause a video, you would want to do that through the output device that you're using. So you'll notice inside the teacher technology cabinet you have two small microphones. These are infrared microphones that will project your voice to the classroom. They're connected to a lanyard that fits around your neck. And to adjust it, there's this button in the back. You can just make it shorter or longer simply by adjusting the lanyard. You want the microphone to lay about here, just underneath your chin, to pick up the sound best for the classroom. And please notice it is infrared. There are infrared sensors connected possibly to the ceiling or one of the walls in your room higher up. And so anywhere you turn in the classroom, even if you turn your back, the sound will bounce off of the hard surfaces and make it to the infrared sensor and project your voice. So keep this in mind if you step out of your classroom into the hallway, maybe during a passing time, and you're having a conversation with a student or a teacher and you still have your microphone on, that conversation will be projected into your classroom via the microphone. So please be cautious about those kind of side chats that you might be having and whether or not you have your microphone on. Also, please be advised that if you're walking the hallways of your school, if you're in a free period or you're running an errand, that your voice or your whistling or your singing to yourself in the hallway could potentially run into somebody else's classroom because their infrared would pick it up as you pass their doorway. But it is blocked by walls, so if you inadvertently wear your microphone into the bathroom, nobody will hear you in the bathroom. So that's kind of good to know. But bear in mind, anywhere there's a light, where light can pass through the window panes in your door or something like that, the infrared sensors will pick up the microphone and project it into those classrooms. So please be mindful of that. To control and use audio sources on the touch screen, you can use the audio sources even when the system is powered off, so when the projector is not running. The volume controls we already went over. Control the sound level. And you can also, if you're using an outside MP3 player or you're using your laptop computer, if you use the volume controls on those, that will help you also to adjust the volume that comes out into the classroom. So when the screen is turned off, you'll notice we still have it on because it's red. If you wanted to come in one day and only use audio, you can do that without turning the system on. You need the projector on only to project images, not sound. Connecting your laptop computer to the teacher technology cabinet. There are two pieces that you need to connect with your laptop. One of them is audio, which is the cord that looks like an audio speaker or earbud cord. And the other piece is the visual or video cable, and that's this one that has the pins in it. Some of you may have a cable that has both of them connected together, in which case it would look something like this, pretty much just both pieces tied together. It does not matter which end plugs into your computer and which end plugs into the cabinet. With the caveat of, if you'll notice on the cables that are actually connected, that carry both in one, the audio cable is longer on one end, which will allow you to stretch that audio cable around the back side of your computer if you need that length. But the functionality is no different. It's just how well it fits your computer. So you may need to identify which end has the longer audio piece on it so that it can hook into your computer. Okay. When you're ready to connect your laptop computer to the cabinet, down here you have your connection panel, and it's very nicely labeled for you, computer and audio. And so the audio plug plugs into the audio input, and the other end goes into the audio input on your computer. And again, it may be on either side. The video cable, same thing. You plug that into the part that says computer. Make sure that the pins are lined up. They have a little pattern to them, so just make sure you have them lined up. And it is best to secure these pins by turning them. You don't have to, but often what happens is the cord goes a little bit loose. It just shakes out of there a little bit, and then your video won't project and you'll be in a panic. So it's always good practice to just make sure you have that all tightened in there with the screws. And the other end, again, just goes on your computer, and usually that's on the far side. And it just plugs in, and then tighten those video screws so that you have a good connection and you're sure to get your video displayed. Okay, the next step is to make sure that you have PC selected on your source panel. And if your computer screen does not show on the screen in your classroom, if it's not projecting, simply choose Function and then F8 on your computer screen. Push those buttons simultaneously, and your screen should appear then on your projected screen. Give it a moment to make that switch, and sometimes you have to push Function F8 more than once. So give it a moment to make sure, and once you get your video feed, you're all set. To use the DVD Blu-ray player in your cabinet, you would insert the DVD or Blu-ray disc into the player inside the cabinet, and then down here on your source selection menu, you're going to run it from DVD. Okay, again, it takes it a minute for the system to recognize that you're switching sources, and it'll let you know when it's ready to go. Okay, and you'll notice on the panel now we have different items that are highlighted. The nice thing about this touchscreen panel is that when you switch devices, it automatically activates the buttons that you'll be using to control that device. So here you have all of the buttons you would need to control a Blu-ray player. And here you have your menu, your fast forward buttons, stop, pause, and play. If you want to move back, you can navigate between the chapters in your video that you're showing, and so on, just as you would with a normal video remote control. Okay, as you're using the menu buttons, you can arrow through those and then select OK to make your choice. Here we have the regular fast forward and the extra fast forward. Same for the reverse buttons. So you can toggle through your video, you can switch chapters, and so on. Okay, the next item on your source input choice menu is the document camera. So we're going to select Doc, wait for it to switch sources, And in order to project an image from the document camera, you need to make sure that the power is turned on the document camera. And there are a number of other control features over here that you can use to adjust the image that you're projecting from your camera. It does have a very high level of resolution, so as you pull in or out, you can get down to just a single word and it will display very clearly on your screen. You can also capture pictures and save them to your computer or save them to an SD card. And the camera autofocuses, and you can also turn on the lamp, which will give you additional light on what it is that you're trying to project. Don't be fooled by the lamp. Sometimes something looks like it has too much light when in fact it doesn't have enough. So if what you're trying to project isn't showing very clearly on your screen, try turning the lamp off and on. The next piece about the camera is the movable arm. It can go down and up. You can turn the camera so you can actually video your students. You can turn it around and focus in on students if they're maybe giving a presentation or somebody's talking in the room. You can project them onto the screen. And you can turn this all the way around. It's got a 360. And the same with the adjustable arm. You can turn it all the way around so you can put items in a variety of places on your desk, and then again, if you wanted to record or project your students, you could be doing that as well. All right, the final source selection item on your menu is Evidon, which is the streaming video service. And again, we'll wait for it to switch sources, and you'll notice that as you choose Evidon, you have a whole different set of keys that are going to light up for you to use. That's because in the Evidon system, you can go through a whole list of pre-loaded videos. You can also select to watch TV by choosing the TV button. Video on demand leads you into our collection of videos. You can then search your collection of videos either using new numbers. If you're typing in a grade level, you can also select out by typing in actual titles or keywords. And these are your selection buttons. Again, OK. To prove your selection, you can save to favorites, add and delete favorites, and keep a record of your videos that you'd like to use tied to your system. Up here we have the buttons that control the running, again, of video, fast forward, rewind, play, pause, and stop. And over here, again, we have our volume controls, and remember the audio mute to stop the audio or to turn off audio, and video mute to turn off video, but again, that doesn't stop the video. If you want to stop video, you need to come up here and use your pause button. Video mute will just turn your screen black. And that's the basic overview of the Teacher Technology Cabinet. Remember to turn the system off when you're done, and to do that, you're just going to push this power down button. It's red, but that means that it's on, and it will tell you the projector is cooling down. Please stand by. At the end of the day, you're also going to want to turn this screen off so that we're not wasting energy. And also these screens glow in the dark if they're left on. Much like a TV that's left on, you can see there's a TV on. It attracts attention from the outside. So for security reasons, please make sure these screens are turned off as well. And your projector will shut itself down as the system shuts down. Again, you do not need to turn off any of the components inside your cabinet. Leave them on so that your computer can receive the necessary updates to keep functioning properly. If you have questions or need additional training, please contact Help Desk at 2487. Thank you.